up, everybody? Welcome to the captain's quarters. This is the back end of the pirate bar. This is like my leather studios where I do my leather work. Where I sit back here and design blades, think of ideas, and get ready for adventures. So yeah, this is the captain's quarters. Welcome back. Place is ever evolving, always changing. It won't look the same next week, but anyways, yeah, let's do this. So as you guys are walking in on me back here, I'm chilling, admiring this big old monster dragon skull. That is real, by the way. We're gonna talk about this later in the video. I'm also gonna introduce you to one of my crazy friends. He's a gator hunter, a wild dude. Me and him grew up together. We were running around, we both had snot running down our noses at Super Church. So, anyways, but when you guys came walking in, y'all saw me over here sharpening a blade. A little bit about that, you know, a lot of my blades I sharpen on my 1x42. It's a belt sander. I finished up with a Red Label Abrasives leather strop. But on my smaller blades that I have a lot of time, that I really want to hone that edge in and just make it ridiculously sharp, I jump to oil stones, or you can call them wet stones, whatever. What you guys see me finishing up the stone on is pretty much already got a nice edge on that blade, but I like to come and touch it up. This is a true, this right here is a true noviculite stone, and this is actually mined in a quarry in Arkansas. This is all mined in the U.S. It's produced in the United States, and I've actually talked with the folks who have all the rights to that quarry and to the production. And I'm actually going to be running a line of Pirate Forge sharpening stones. So again, so much going on right now. This is going to be in the future. Future videos, I'd say 95% of the population does not know how to sharpen a blade. I'll be honest with you, I'm a country boy. I've been around blades, sharp things my whole life. I didn't know how to really sharpen anything until about 3 years ago. When I started bladesmithing was when I really learned how to do it. But again, pushing that sharpness to a whole new level, you can't get any sharper than you can with a stone. You're not generating any heat. And so yeah, I'm gonna shut up about this, but yeah, that's what I was raised. This is my noviculite stone here, Pirate Forge sharpening stone, and you'll be seeing more of this at another time, and I'm gonna teach you guys how to sharpen. Anyways, back to it. Let's talk this most recent build. We wrapped up Malice. You guys saw part 1 of the video where I forged it out. We quenched the blade. I've got my buddy Brandon. He's over here and he's doing all the camera work for me. And he was here for the first couple of days while we were working on this thing, but then he had to go to work. He still works for the man, so he had to go to work. I was by myself, and I was hustling because we had a gator hunt coming up. The whole reason why we built Malice was because my friend Randy, big into gator hunting. Gator season just opened up. He gives me a call. He says, "Man, we got tags, and I'm on the trail of this monster dragon, like over 13 foot. It's going to be a new Florida, possibly a new Florida state record." And he told me, he's like, "Bro," he says, "if you can forge a blade in that time," he says, "we'll take it down with the sword." So I was like, "Dude, we're totally doing this." So you guys ready to see his blade? Let's go get it. She's right over here. Incredible sword, just over 49 inches long. That is a big sword, and it is so extremely light. You guys see me hold it right here. I'm pinching the blade, pinching. I am pinching the blade right here, and I mean it's extremely light. It's just over 4 pounds. But again, a long sword like this at that weight with this balance, the point of balance is a little bit above the hilt, which is where you want with a sword like this, because again, this thing is just meant for doing damage. I mean, nothing's going to stop this blade. But yeah, point of balance is around there. But also, we'll talk more in some other videos, is the harmonic node, where the vibrations, where the energy travels through the sword. You know, you can balance the blade out. Supposedly, I believe you're supposed to have one of the nodes where your hand's at, where you're not feeling any of the vibrations, and the other harmonic node should be in the sweet spot, which is perfectly placed right here on this sword. So that means is whenever you're hitting it and energy is transferring from you into your target, you're not going to be losing any of that energy in those vibrations. So yeah, you guys know what something like this can do. If y'all see my old videos, you know how it works. So yes, this is Malice, the longsword, two-handed longsword. This sword, like I said, our plan. When my buddy Randy hit me up, the plan for this sword was to go take out something like this. Randy, how big was this gator here?
Over 12 foot.
So this is over a 12-foot gator. Tell you what, Randy, why don't you come over here and tell these folks how you got this? Give a little background story. I mean, you told me a little bit about this. You killed this out of a kayak? Well, tell them the story, man. Show them that gator. I think why is it so heavy?
It's a lot of bone.
That is incredible. Here's Randy.
A lot of teeth.
He's going to show us his gator. Tell us a little bit about alligators. Maybe tell us a little about alligator hunting. And yeah, so we want to hear it, dude.
Well, alligator season every year opens August 15th, so we're just getting started in the beginning. Goes through November 1st. A lot of guys like to catch them with rod and reel, throwing lines over top of them, harpooning them. But me personally, I like to get them in a kayak, and it's more intense that way. Killed a bunch of them. Like this one in particular, killed him in a kayak. When you get them on a kayak, they pull you like you're a bobber, like you're fishing, and it adds a little bit of butt puckering and a little bit of adrenaline rush, which I like. That's the whole reason I do it. I like to hunt everything, but for some reason these always draw me back. I get ready for August 15th every year. This particular one, I throwed a treble hook over his back, what they call a hand line or a willy hook, and you drag him up to the kayak and you hook it onto a cleat. You hook on a cleat on the side of the kayak, and then he takes you for a ride for a little while. So you try to tire him out, kayak, use it as like a float to get him wore out. And once you get him wore out after 30 or 45 minutes, you pull him up and hit him with a harpoon. And in the state of Florida, you got to use a bang stick. You can't use a gun like in Louisiana.
Bang stick or a sword, right?
Or that's where we...
a death mask longsword is, I believe, I was looking in this rules of pirate style, backwoods Florida man gator hunting, and I believe as long as it's Damascus, you can do it. So one other thing, my buddy's telling me about this, for all you folks out there in TV world or in the internet land that may look at us and say, these guys are freaking savages and all this stuff. Well, I'm going to tell you what, we are savages, but listen, we're just about, you know, conservation, taking care of animals. When you take an animal like this, whether it's a fish, whether it's a big gator, it's no waste. That animal gave its life for you. Even if it wanted to eat us, and it would, trust me, it would eat you, your dog, whoever. Oh, yeah. But you know, these things are absolutely beautiful. These things are like living what's the word?
Dinosaur.
Well, a living dinosaur, but a living fossil. Yeah. So basically a living fossil. What's that thing called? Is that the thing? I'm gonna turn off that dehumidifier. Okay, so what I was getting at though is, you know, you guys say, you know, why are you killing these big beautiful animals? Well, here's the thing: alligators have no known natural predators other than other alligators. So, what, 1980s, when did they make it where it was totally illegal? I think alligators became like an endangered species.
Yeah, they were endangered for a little while, and because they were being hunted for leather, and after a lot of conservation and a lot of hunters' dollars that were put back into it to repair the swamps and protect them, they've come back, and Florida's got the highest population of them now. They're just being hunting them as long as I have. The population's growing since I've been hunting them.
Sure, but with that awesome comeback has came problems.
Yeah.
Because these things now are attacking people. You hear about it in the news. There was a young kid that was killed over in Kissimmee or in Orlando.
A lot of
pets. Just a lot of pets, a lot of dogs. I love dogs.
Me too.
So guys, don't feel too bad about us trying to take these gators out, because when we do, we really do. We appreciate the animal. We keep the hides. We use that. We eat the meat. But yeah, so they really do. They need to be regulated. So in the state of Florida, they are strictly regulated.
Yes.
You pay a lot of money, and the money goes right back into all the hunting systems and into all those resources. And again, being careful not to over harvest. And that's what we do. But when we take them down, it's just a quick, clean death. respect to the animal. So, talking about death, you know, we discussed this, that we believe that we could take out a gator with one of these, with a longsword. And Randy was thinking that we could. When you take a gator out, where do you want to hit the gator with the bang stick?
You got this square plate on top of his head here, and it's hard bone like wood, and you're hitting him right behind it. There's as you can see in there in the back side, it's his spinal column, and you're trying to
bring it up here a little closer to the camera.
You're trying to sever this cord when you hit him. There's a hole right here in it. A lot of times, like I said, you're going to do it with a bang stick. It's a pole with a bullet on the end of it, and you got to press it up against him for it to fire. So, just coming with the idea of using a bang stick, why not try to use a sword?
Well, I honestly think, turn this around right here, turn out to him. I honestly think if a sword was driven down through the back of a gator, that gator's going to go crazy. But if he goes crazy, and as long as you don't get scared and you hold that sword, it's just going to go back and forth, and it's going to sever. I'm a critical care nurse, guys, by the way, so I do halfway know what I'm talking about. But no, seriously, yeah, I know I talk about this. I'm trying to tell you guys a little bit of my backstory. I was the assistant nurse manager over a 26-bed ICU, CVICU, open heart, critical care unit, and so that was what I did. I ran that ICU, so I have a pretty good explanation, understanding neurology, stuff like that, and yeah, so even gators have a spinal cord that goes down through there. So those vertebrae, they're not indestructible. And I think if we were to put this sword down here, these swords that I make, which you guys seen what my blades can do, if that gator, the more he moves, the more damage he's going to cause. And we're going to have a gator with a severed spinal cord. He's not going to move. It's going to be a quick death. And then we just vanquished a living day dragon with a
Dragon Slayer?
A sword. So that was our plan. We did go out there. We were running a little bit behind. I was trying to wrap up this blade. I was trying to let the hip dry that I had stabilized the handle with. And by the time we got out there, Randy was already out there in his boat, and he's got like a boat that looks like the Titanic. It's about a 30-foot, give or take, you know, maybe 20 foot.
It's 21 foot.
21-foot aluminum boat. So my dad, we got a caper, we got an offshore boat at my dad's house, but I've got a little river gator that's 14 foot. And me and my camera dude, my buddy Brandon, we jumped in my boat, and yeah, we were, I think because all this muscle that me and Brandon had, you guys will see Brandon here in a little bit, you'll see it. But yeah, all this muscle, this bladesmithing muscle that we have, not to brag, but I think that's what happened to our boat. So our boat, it was performing more like a submarine. Usually when you hit the throttle, a boat gets up on a plane. But for some weird reason, when I gave it the throttle, it was trying to dive, dude. It was trying to
a little bit more weight in that boat should have.
I need a periscope, man. Seriously, it was scary. I was more scared just getting over to Randy than I was even trying to wrestle with the gator.
Yeah, we had a gator on at the time. We were fighting him on rod and reel, and pulled him in. He's 8.5, 9 foot, but
let him swim.
Let him get back after. He wasn't big. We try not to take anything that's a little bit smaller than what we want. We try to shoot 11 foot and up, which is, it's not for everybody. Sometimes, you know, you catch a lot of gators before you get to that one you want to keep, but that's part of our management, what we want to do and how we want to do it.
Yep. So
making sure we got some later to hunt.
So that is good stuff, and it's not over. When's gator season over with?
November 1st.
November 1st. So we've kind of missed out, and unfortunately, I know you guys are probably all going to be upset, but Malice has already been taken. Someone reached out to me, and sometimes blades will hit the web page, but one of my good friends has already got a lot of my blades. He actually owns Nightmare, if you guys remember Nightmare as well. A good friend of mine. Bro, like I said, people, when you get to know me, and anyone who buys my blades, they're not just customers, they're part of the family. I couldn't do this without you guys. And like I said, anytime you guys get anything from me, reach out to me. I'm here to help you out with anything you know about taking care of these blades, anything like that. So long story short, like, I've become friends with most of my folks that carry my blades out there in the world. And one of my good bros, he's a wild man too. He climbs trees for a living, and so he does it in Colorado. This dude is like, he's jacked, and he just shoots from those trees. I don't think he even uses any of the ropes or cables, man. He just shoots right up them like a damn Wolverine, and he sends me videos just cutting these tree limbs out. So he's a wild man. This thing is going to be in fantastic hands. But that being said, once this scabbard's done, I send this over to my friend. I'm going to have to make another sword because I'm going to have a sword sitting around here waiting for whenever he gives me the call. We got to go take down a dragon.
September 12th, we'll be back.
We're going to do it. So this isn't the end of it, but anyways, yeah, that is monstrous. He told me he was going to bring this gator skull over here tonight, but it's just weird when you see one of these in person. That thing is freaking huge. So yeah. Anyways, rock on. Randy's got a great beard game, man. What's the secret to that beard?
Just let it grow.
Oh, come on now.
Let it grow, man.
Come on, dude.
What?
This is your first time on this new channel, my channel. You got these viewers out here watching. I know they're looking at your beard, dude.
Pretty sure he just takes Duck Dynasty reruns and just listens to them on repeat and just prays to the beer gods that please make my beard grow.
It's gator fat, man.
Okay.
Gator fat. Okay, so there we go.
Just rub it in.
Beard tips from Randy. This could be a thing. Gator fat. So, anyways, all right, guys, let's get down into the breakdown of this sword. All right, so you guys know a little bit of the backstory of Malice, why Malice was created, and you know. So, anyways, we're here now. You guys saw the video. Let's talk about a little bit about this sword, this incredible sword. I think this is the greatest sword that I've made thus far in my bladesmithing career. I really feel that way. People like to describe my work a lot of times as what the hell is the word for it? Not sci-fi, but fantasy. I don't really like the term fantasy blades because to me that implies that they're a joke. They're not real battle-ready weapons. But I guess if it doesn't fit the exact style of medieval blades or historical blades, then it falls into the category of a fantasy or a fantastic blade. But I'm finding myself being drawn more to the standard historical style blades. That being, you know, when I first started making these swords, I wanted big, crazy swords. But with that comes a lot of weight. And even though I can swing a big sword like that weighs 7 pounds, you're not going to swing that for very long. A real, true, fine-tuned sword even a great sword should never be over 4.5 pounds. Historically, you know, claymores and great swords, I believe they ran about 3.5 to 4.5 pounds. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I'm no, guys, I'm just an old blue-collar dude from freaking Barano Park, North Cantonment, Florida. So trust me, I've had no formal training in any of this. Nothing, so I'm just speaking from experience. So please, there's a sword guru out there, guru us. Let us know. But from what I've read, 3.5 to 4.5 pounds. This right here was just a little bit over 4 pounds. So just a fantastic piece. I absolutely love this. The next sword I make is probably going to be very similar to this. Each one's gonna be different because everyone's different. But again, let's talk about the steel. The steel I used was ADCRV2. It's a super spring steel. Some people call it 1080 plus. It is a spring steel with added vanadium. Just, you know, it's kind of like 5160 on steroids. And I can't stress it enough. If you're going to mess with ADCRV2, you need to have some way of having real accurate temps in your heat treat. I use a kiln. I use even heat kilns. I've got a 31-inch and a 49.5-inch extreme depth even heat. And really, if you don't have a kiln or some way of measuring that, stay away from ADCRV2 because it can be very finicky. But if you have a kiln and you can get really good temperatures and exact heat treat, this stuff is makes a phenomenal blade. So my other favorite steel is 15 and 20. It's a really tough steel. It's got those big nickel carbides in it. So, you know, I've never seen anyone mix ADCRV2 and 15 and 20. A lot of people were like, well, ADCRV2 is a deep hardening steel, 15 and 20 is shallow hardening steel, your cooling curves are off. Who gives a shit about you? What the hell, dude? Too many people want to read shit in a book or go off whatever someone else tells them. That's how I've came to where I'm at so far, you know, and I'm still learning every day. I care less what people say. I'm going to go out there and gather my own information, do my own research, and I'm going to figure it out, you know. And I have. I've done it the wrong way plenty of times, and I'm evolving. Again, you see videos of me sending these blades through these big, massive wild hogs, these boars, in one swing. I'm not a huge guy, and that comes down to metallurgy, getting that grain structure really fine and take an extremely sharp edge and make a durable blade. But again, I went out there and I've done this research, ADCRV2 and 15 and 20. I call it Death Mascus. Because, I don't know, it just sounds really cool. So yeah, Death Mascus, and that's what this is. I've got a heat treat that I put on this. It gets a really fine grain, even post-tempering. I'm leaving these things at 60 Rockwell. And again, I full temper, then I come back and differentially temper the stress risers. But again, Rockwell harness is just one small aspect or one small thing about the blade, and just because you have a certain Rockwell hardness doesn't mean it's a great blade. And again, how are you testing your Rockwell? Are you just guesstimating? Are you scratch filing? I have an actual calibrated Rockwell hardness tester. What?
Dang, man!
He's just staring at the camera like he's
No blinks. Oh,
No
so
blinks.
2 minutes, no blinks.
Yep, God dang, he's holding it.
You gotta distract these people. I'm trying to give these people some good metallurgy information.
Yeah, but
we
they're
just
gonna be
don't-
listening and they're gonna look
We
over
don't
this.
want to make sure, you know, Randy's a little special. We want to make sure he's alright. I mean,
But-
there's a lot of stuff going on here.
But yes, back to calibrated Rockwell hardness tester. Big, and I just use that as one of my things to do. Again, after I've done all my heat cycles, that final austenization, usually I'll run a test tab through there. After I quench, I'll snap, I'll assess that grain, make sure I got really nice, tight, fine grain. We're gonna get into more metallurgy stuff later. I don't want to get too far into that. I lose. If you guys can tell, I'm kind of like I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere several times, but it's all good. Got a lot going on in this head of mine. But yeah, this does take a great thing. If you guys remember the blade that I recently made, called Bane, the Nodachi, the Swamp Sword, that was Death Mascus. And you guys, I was taking that thing and I was chopping trees in half. I was chopping 2x4s in half in one swing. So anyone that wants to tell me that this combination of Damascus isn't good, well, you're an idiot, so sorry. Because this does work the way I put the heat treat on it, so it's fantastic. Death Damascus. So with this blade, I wanted to, some of the things that I've seen in historical art and whatnot, in historical blades, I love the way it has a real taper. Again, distal tapers this way, but also just a real taper down to almost almost makes like a fine triangle. But for penetration, this thing right here,
Oh yeah.
maximum penetration. So, and that's what we were going for, trying to stab one of these swamp lizards. But yeah, 520 layers. We had to cut and restack 2 different times using my new coal iron forging press, which is a lifesaver. But you know, I used everything around the shop. I was using the anvil, I was using the power hammer, the press. If you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it. It's the precursor, or the episode before this one. Go back and watch that. Watch me bring this big monster to life. On the cruciform upswept cruciform guard. They call it a cruciform guard because guess what, guys? It is a cross, and it's upswept there on the end. I forged this from mild steel. I've got a method where I make this jet black. If you guys are lucky and you subscribe to my channel and comment on here, eventually I'm going to start giving away some of these secrets. I'm going to show you guys how to do this. But for now, we got a murdered out mild steel guard. We have a forged pommel that is also mild steel. My touch mark. This carries my touch mark. I put it there. We have a hammered through tang. You may not be able to see it back here in this dungeon light. But it's a hammered through tang design there. This right here is all forge fitted. This right here is compression fit hemp, compression wrapped hemp. It is stabilized. West Systems epoxy. It's going to last the test of time. Or this thing will be floating around this earth when all of us are all dead and gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what it's all about. But again, great piece, fantastic sword. Couldn't be happier with it. And again, we did this for a crazy gator hunt. We didn't get to take a gator down with it, but you know what? I still feel like I grew as a bladesmith and as a swordsmith. I mean, it's just the ultimate piece. So again, I'm really just getting started, guys. So things are about to be getting really crazy. And one last thing, you know, you guys have been seeing me. You guys who've been following me for a while on social media platforms. You know, I kept putting it off. Like, eventually I want to do YouTube. I want to take people behind the scenes. I've got a lot of crazy cool friends. We go on crazy cool adventures. There's just a bunch of really cool stuff going on over here that you guys can't see from the post on Facebook or Instagram. Some really good stuff. So we're going to start taking you guys on the ride with that. But part of that is I'm going to start introducing you guys to all my crazy pirate, gypsy, redneck, backwoods, crazy buddies, friends. It's some good stuff. So tonight I'm bringing in a few of my buddies. Like I said, you just met Randy. Let's go ahead and this is pretty special. My camera guy. He's become a good friend of mine. We met probably about a month and a half ago, and I do these things on my social media platforms where I get the followers to name blades, give me some names, and if I pick a name from one of them, usually I'll hit them up and I'll give them something. I do like little giveaways. So I like the name that he came up for this blade, called it Swamp Reaver, and I hit him up and said, dude, I said, I like it, I'm naming it that. Let me send you some Pirate Forge swag, dude. He goes, man, I'm local. I'm like, what, really? I said, well, hell, come out to the shop, pick it up yourself. So he comes out here, and I gave him the tour that I give folks. If you're ever lucky enough to come out here and get the El Bueno tour of the place, it's fantastic. it's a good time. You'll learn something. You may leave scared, but it's an adventure nonetheless. So Brandon comes over here. I gave him the rundown, and I told him, I said, man, I really want to get into this YouTube thing. I think it'd be really a lot of fun. I love doing the production. I do all the production stuff on these videos, the editing, and I really enjoy that side of it. And he says, dude, I wouldn't mind running the camera for you. And I've had a lot of friends come right here and try to run the camera for me, and I think I run them off. They come here and they work for a little bit, and they get tired. I ran Randy off for a while. Randy will come here for a little bit, then he'll disappear for about 6 months. And
I work, man.
And then he'll come back.
I'm working full.
But no, Brandon said, he says, I want to go for it. I said, all right, dude, if you suck, I'll tell you you suck, but let's get it going. So, but anyways, here we are. We're doing great, and Brandon's been a great help, and Brandon's part of the reason why I'm able to bring this to you guys. So, Brandon's been following my work for the 3 years, and I think it's kind of cool because this is a guy who's just like you guys that are just looking from the outside. Maybe y'all don't even have any experience with any of this blades stuff. He didn't either, and now he's over here filming it. So I think we could ask him some questions and maybe let him kind of give you a little bit of insight on what he sees over here, like especially what it was like whenever we were building this blade. So anyways, here comes Brandon. Brandon, come on down! Alright, man. Talk to us. Tell these folks, tell these good folks out here in cyber world, what's up?
He's gay.
And that too will be edited out.
What's up?
Bubs, that's the only thing about me being able to edit. I can edit this bullshit out.
He don't like being ragged on.
You don't like it?
You don't like it.
Alright, roll it.
All right, well, ask me questions. You brought me over here. Let's ask me.
So, Brandon, what did you think about this? What did you think about this build here?
Oh, it's amazing to see something come from nothing is incredible, really. To see a piece of metal, stacked metal, come from this, just stretching it all the way out to make that is absolutely insane. And to not only think, oh, well, that looks cool. Where's the Damascus going to come in? And he's just like, dude, we're going to etch it. I'm like, okay. Dips it in, lets it sit, comes out, and boom, death Damascus. And it's absolutely beautiful.
So, being someone who's never been around blades, you were following my stuff on social media. You think, like, the amount of work put into this, is this what you imagined it was like? Is there less? Is there more?
I tell you what, Forged in Fire on History Channel, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, a lot of editing. It makes it look easy. Not everybody can do this. There's a lot of cookie cutter freaking bladesmiths out there. They'll take a sheet of metal, cut it out with a plasma cutter, sharpen it up, call it a day.
Oh yeah.
Not this guy. He's incredible. The amount of work that goes into these things that only y'all get to see is minute. I'm talking about like weeks, days, plans. You don't see failures. I mean, he's good, but like everybody, we're all human, and people do make mistakes, but no one gets to see that. But that's how he learns. But definitely, if you think Forged in Fire looks easy, go ahead and get on there and see what happens.
Well, my good friend Brennan, I got a friend of mine named Brennan, and he's like a master floorman or whatever they call it. Basically, he puts in floors in these big fancy hotel chains and whatnot, whether it's carpet or stone floor. And he told me, the way you gauge a master in any craft, it's not necessarily how good he can do something, it's how good he is at fixing the screw-ups.
Yeah.
So not to say there's a bunch of screw-ups, but whenever you're making a blade, you come to certain points where like, ooh, that didn't work out exactly how I wanted. But being able to navigate that and actually be able to produce something that's better than what you thought you were going to produce.
Exactly.
You're constantly troubleshooting while you're doing it. I think that's what Brandon's talking about.
Oh yeah, but to see him where I think, oh shit, he fucked up, and he's like, dude, don't worry about it, I got this. I'm like, okay, but that's just me being ignorant, and he just like it never happened. I'm like, fuck, okay.
But when you're watching these blades take shape, a lot of times, man, you'll see it do these crazy things. I mean, you just guys see from the video, this sword you're forging, like, it will look like a big old crazy curly cue. Then that's just because the way you're moving the metal. Then you flip it over and start working evenly. Then it goes back to being straight. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, you know. And I think Brandon had no clue how much work went into this. A lot of people don't have any kind of clue, you know.
Nobody.
The market's so screwed up right now because you jump on there as soon as you search Damascus longsword, you see El Dhabi from El Pakistan, with his car bumper blade, Lex Caliber sword for $200.
Yeah.
Owner of 5.711.
It's a joke. Like I said, in most cases you get what you pay for. High price or price doesn't always indicate quality. But like I tell folks, whatever you get from me, you're actually getting more than what you pay for it. But anyways, yeah, a lot more stuff coming to you. I think Brandon's going to stay here a while. He's going to keep doing this film thing. So yeah, if you guys get any inspiration for Brandon, he's the guy behind the camera. So if any of the camera work sucks,
I mean, he's a little bossy. But, you know.
So this is the guy. So again, thank you guys for watching everything that we're doing here. I know it's dark back here in the dungeon, but again, this is me kind of opening up my life to you guys. You guys are seeing a behind-the-scenes view of things I do. There's been a lot of crazy moments back here, you know, lots of history back here. So in this whole place, but we'll get more into that. But again, that's why we're kind of doing this little story breakdown for you guys, giving you some more information, and we're going to take this thing and let's go. We're going to do some swinging. We're going to wait for the sun to come up because it's dark outside. It's about midnight or so here in Florida. We just had two huge hurricanes come through. You know, we really did. We just barely missed them. They're slamming New Orleans right now. But that's part of living here on the Florida coast. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of behind the scenes back here in the pirate bar, captain's quarters, leather master crafting dungeon hole. And yeah, so thanks for coming back here with us, and I hope you learned something. And again, if you got any kind of questions about what's going on here, because when we break from this, like I said, we gotta wait till the sun comes up, but you guys don't have to wait. You're about to see this thing cut through some targets here in any moment. But again, I want to go ahead and thank you guys for tuning into this channel. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't, and sling some comments down there and tell me what you guys want to see, what you think. What do you think about this guy here, Mr. Beard Beautiful and Brandon the boat sinker over here?
Ask whose boat's bigger.
Anyways, thank you guys. Let's cue some really cool groovy music and let's slice some stuff up. We're gonna do this. Yeah. The sword about went through me. I was putting so much power through the cut because I thought that was going to be difficult. I think I could have cut through probably 100 of those damn things. Yeah, I really wasn't even swinging that. I was just trying to hold on to the sword. It just kept, dude, it kept going. It was about to go through that tree right there. Holy Jesus! Wow! Wow! Oh my God!